Alright, boys, couple good positives today. My A2P campaign got approved. I smashed a fat leg session at a new gym that I think I'm going to sign up to. I did some sales roleplay. I did some outreach for something that I'm about to tell you in a minute. And I'm starting to go to bed a bit later just to get used to US time zone and just being more awake at these times. So let me tell you about this method, right? So my mentor taught me about this and I really had to think about it, right? And he said, bro, do you know what's a really good way of not having to worry about churn with lead gen clients or not having to worry about having no money is to support the agency by getting super low ticket clients where the money that you're charging them is literally stupid money to them. They couldn't care about it. And then because they don't care about it, and because what I'm about to tell you is such a necessary thing for all business owners to have, it's very sticky, and if they get rid of it, it looks kind of bad on their behalf, right? And so he told me to start making websites for general businesses because something like 24% of all US businesses that don't have a website know they need to have one or something like that. And think about it, there's millions and millions of businesses in the US. So that's what I'm kind of getting at there. I'm gonna basically start selling websites for $75 to $100. I think it's gonna really depend on the level of income they are because I couldn't care about the money. $75, $100, $50 is nothing to me. But my mind's completely gone blank. But obviously, I don't want to charge them 100 if they're more likely to churn because the company's not as big, right? So the way I've positioned it, I'm not going to tell you what I'm actually doing to get it because it's quite an OP strat. But I've positioned myself as a student studying marketing, and that's all I'm going to give away, right? But it works very well. I know a guy that's doing it right now. He's signed 5 clients in a week. So if I was to sign 5 clients at $100, that's an extra $500 a month. And then preferably I want to get to 10 or 20 before I'm pretty chilling. Because even that is okay, maybe 25 in GBP is literally an average wage for people in the UK. It's like 24 grand. Right? I think about it. Imagine just having that passively. You just couldn't give two fucks about the money. It just keeps coming, right? And so, you don't need to care about client churn as such. I mean, you should obviously to have a good business, but just that ultimate stable foundation, I think is really good for. So I'm gonna do that. Put my ego aside as well, and not be like, well, I've got to charge 1,000 up front. I've got to charge 5,000. I've got to make sure. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. Literally, doesn't matter whatsoever, right? So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning with that. Get $2,000 a month, and I don't know, maybe even up to 3,000. It just depends how scalable and how quick it is, really. And then from there as well, that literally pays for my ads. Kind of a minimum cost. I mean, let's say it was $4,000, and I put $3,000 a month in ads, and then $500, $600, $700, kind of just for overall expenses on the business. And then I've got an extra 200 to add more expenses, or to just take home and literally just blow 180 cash in GBP. So it's not fucking bad, it's just 180 quid, but bro, fucking hell. Who gives a shit, bro? I just go throw that on some new shoes or something, so. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty chill, and it's definitely viable, very easy to do. But I'm very excited about swapping to US market. I'm very excited that my A2P is done now. The only problem is that I'm not going to be too free on Friday unless I really like think about time. So I'm going to have to do that to actually take sales calls at the night. And I mean, Saturday, Sunday I'll be more free, but I think I want to take Sunday off because I just want like a full day reset where I just don't do anything, because I think there's been a lot of changes made this week to myself and to the business that I want to have time to get away from the noise a little bit in order for me to come back kicking hard. And Dom does this, and I know Caden does, and Dom, I know Dom feels fucking great after doing it. And I think Dom and Caden are the two guys that I know do it, but it's kind of just split testing, seeing what works and seeing if I even need that. But I think it's always good to, like I was speaking about with all the personalities inside of you, just let that kind of have their time to shine in a sense and recuperate. And then next week is just going to be a week of outreach, and I think I'm going to take a new approach to it as well. It's like, I don't care about how many meetings I get booked next week. I don't actually care about my short break next week. I trust God, and whatever God decides for me, that's what's going to happen. And so I'm not bothered. I'm not even bothered if I book meetings. I don't care. I'm just going to do the inputs and improve and get better. And like, my sales skills are getting so good now that I know that I'm going to be ripping through lead gen clients as well with the new offer that I'm on. I'm not sure if I explained it in other videos, but it's going to be about $750 up front for the first 5 appointments, and or maybe $1,000 up front and then $200 per appointment. So that covers the first 5. Yeah, so we'll do $1,000 up front and then $200 per appointment just to even out with the GBP. But that's kind of what my offer's going to be, and I know that's going to fucking rip, because bro, like, what is $1,000 and $200 pay per appointment? Are you fucking broke? Oh, astaghfirullah. Are you broke? Are you poor? Like, how can you not pay that? So yeah, we're kind of locked in with that, so that's going to be good. I've got a couple things I kind of want to get done to the end of this week, and I think Sunday's just going to be a big reflection, so I think that should be a good video. I think tomorrow I'm going to write down some stuff. The only problem is I don't want to miss Fajr, to be quite honest, and it's like 15 past now, 15 past 12, and Fajr ends at 7:15 AM. So I can still get a good amount of sleep. I could get 7 hours right now, so in fact it's actually not too bad, especially on East Coast time zones where I'll be finishing up around 11 or 12, so it's very doable. I don't see too much of a problem when I think about it now, but yeah, I just kind of want to rip out those websites and then rip out lead gen and then just like scale fast. But to be honest, like, I don't care in a sense. Like, I don't care. Like, bro, like, what's another month? As long as I'm getting better. Like, what's another month? As long as, like, I'm doing better. So I can see things getting better, boys, since it's got a bit slower and everything, and I'm optimistic. I think one thing I kind of want to maximise though is my sleep. I'm gonna have to think about how to do that, because I think when I get more sleep I'm a lot more energised, and I don't know whether I should. Okay, so this is something to split test, but what I could do is have like an hour sleep at like 2 p.m. which is Sunday anyway. And then from there, I'm going to feel great and have lots of energy. And then that's kind of when the outreach starts. Because obviously I got to rip SMS. I could call the positive replies at 2 though, but I don't think that's too bad. I think 10 AM Eastern's okay. And as I go kind of further west, I know time zones are going to switch and get a little bit different as well, so that's something to think about. I don't know, I got that shit though. I'll figure that out later at the time, it's not that deep anyway. Like, it doesn't matter right now. But yeah, I am tired, and there's not really too big of a lesson, except that there's a light at the end of every tunnel, and to just detach from things. Like, there's just no point in focusing on the output when you can just focus on the input and do what you can control. Like, you can't control whether you book meetings, but you can control your tonality. You can't control whether you close a sales call, but you can control how good your discovery, pitch, and close are. You know? So just focus on the things that you can control, and I think being outcome focused is also scarcity, because, well, when you think about it, right, and if you don't know what scarcity means, that kind of means like, so you have abundance and scarcity, and abundance is having a lot and scarcity is having little, right? So when you're thinking like, I need to make 10k a month, or I'm going to make 10k this month, you're actually thinking from a place of scarcity, because it's kind of signaling that it's on a higher shelf, now that I kind of think about it. So I'm not even going to focus on any outcome. I'm going to leave it to God, and I'm really going to try and strengthen my iman as well, and just get it back up to speed, really, and just have that detachment in a sense as well from this world, because this world's temporary. It's only a test. I mean, what am I and who are you? You're in a small town, big city. Either way, you're in a house. Maybe you're eating some food watching these videos. Maybe you're in bed watching these videos. I don't know, but we're very irrelevant, and I think people think that they're too important in life, when obviously not to lower your self-esteem, but we're actually not that important. So don't worry about any of that. Just let go of everything. You don't need to be attached to anything, really. And like, that's not me saying don't have emotional connection, but don't idolize or put things on pedestals other than God, because, well, what else is there to put higher than you? Nothing. So everything's obtained through God, and by putting your trust in God and asking for things through God, and that in itself is detachment from what we want. And so that is being input focused, not output focused. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, boys, I think I'm going to end up here, just because I want to, one, get to bed, and two, I don't want to keep going on a ramble. But I hope that you guys find this kind of helpful. I need to think of what I'm going to name. I need to think of what I'm going to name this video. I'm going to name some stoic shit, some Miyamoto Musashi type beat. Oh man, maybe some Marcus Aurelius or Plato or whatever his name is. But yeah, I'll see you later, boys. I think we're going to have a good day tomorrow.